Hi everybody, it's Nikki Morrow with To the Moon and Back Behavioral Consulting, and I am a parent coach. Today we are talking about the idea or the diagnosis of autism. And I know that it is such kind of like a taboo in this thing that we're all so afraid of, but we just really know very little about it, or most people know a little about it. So I wanted to bring this up because I've had so many clients coming to me and saying, is this normal? Is my kid normal? Are they developing normal? And most of the time I can say yes, but there are some things that us as parents need to keep an eye on because it is so prevalent, and that is why I've invited my guest here. We know each other because we used to work together, and I have nothing but the utmost respect and trust for my friend Amber Bravo. She has her master's degree in early childhood education, and she actually coaches and specializes in parents and families with a special needs situation. So I'd like to pass it on to her. She can give you some quick flags to look for.
Sure. Thank you, Nikki. Hi, Facebook family. So let's talk about autism, right? Maybe you've heard it referred to as ASD, so autism spectrum disorder. And it's really kind of referred to as that because there's such a variety in symptoms and severity, right? Maybe you've heard something as mild, as like, oh, maybe there's just a little speech delay or something really severe where the child can't interact, like everyone else in society, right? So that's kind of why it's a spectrum. But to be quite honest, everyone probably knows one, if not more, families that have been affected by this disorder. And in fact, it's increased so much that it's like 1 out of every 59 kiddos now that can get diagnosed with autism. So what do you want to do with this information? Maybe you have this gut feeling like, is it typical? Is it atypical? What are some tall tale signs or maybe yellow flags that I could look for to then decide whether or not you should take it a step further? So what are some of the things that you might see? So you might hear something referred to as a social emotional delay. Well, what does that mean? Are they exhibiting in a way where they're avoiding social contact, right? Maybe they're not really affectionate. They don't like to be embracing. They don't have really good eye contact. Maybe they use you as a tool to gain their wants and needs, but that's about it, right? Maybe they're not interested in things that other children their age are interested in, right? So you're looking at things like that. Sometimes in social situations, they might want to avoid the situation. It causes too much anxiety, maybe they just want to tune out or not be, a part of a conversation. There's so much that's linked with social emotional development and also with speech delay, right? So maybe there's some articulation issues, maybe new listeners can't really understand what they're saying, or maybe they're not saying enough or using enough words, right?
So new listeners, what would new listeners?
So that's kind of what I refer to as a novice listener. So if you go, say, to your girlfriend's house and it's the first time you're meeting and your girlfriend's like, I don't know what your kid's saying, but you've learned that maybe spaghetti is spaghetti, right? Or maybe uppa means I want to get up, right? So maybe some quirky word sounds, things like that. So another thing too that you might want to look into is sensory related issues, right? Are they avoiding lots of sensory? Are they trying to immerse themselves? Are they sensory seeking? A lot of people refer this to children that might have some hyperactivity, right? So are they bouncing around a lot? Are they always fidgeting or holding things with their hands? Are they always mouthing things? Do they need intense feelings, right? But then if they're avoiding, maybe they don't like to touch certain textures, or maybe they don't like certain sounds, right? Or maybe you tend to see them withdraw or shelter themselves, from exposure to sounds and lights, anything really that's causing some sort of distress on them. But it's interesting because a lot of these things might be, you know, a developmental skill that they're just experiencing, but when you really see it go a step further, like, is it hindering in their everyday lifestyle? Because if you think about it, a child's world and occupation is to play, right? So if they're playing in a way that just seems a little off or a little quirky, right? Like, say for instance, they're playing with zoo animals, right? Maybe in a zoo you want to have all of the animals corral over because it's time to eat and they're playing in the river or something like that. Or maybe you have the chimpanzees eating like the mites out of each other's hair or what have you. But if you see them instead maybe using the animals, like putting them in a straight line, or just sorting them by color or size. And they're not really like engaging with the actual toy. They're not showing what's developmentally appropriate, like imaginative play, and just kind of using it as like task affiliated. Like, that's a little quirky. Then you kind of want to look out for things like that. Are they playing alongside other people, or are they actually, you know, creating interactions? Sometimes what you might see is a child like overly exert their control, right? They're telling you how to play as opposed to like following maybe your social cues. You know, like, you have mama bear, I have baby bear, and let's like sing a song together. Like, that would be appropriate. Maybe they're like, no, bear goes over here, and like leave it at that, right?
And just the rigidity.
Yes,
it's the
exactly.
rigidity that you're looking for.
Right.
With
Are they
that
not
play.
flexible?
Yeah. So a lot of times, like, toddlers are bossy.
Yeah.
Toddlers are bossy, and they need to be taught certain social cues, but it's more like the rigidity, and like they'll pattern out the same steps of the behavior constantly, right? And yeah, go ahead.
No, absolutely. So like, of course Nikki has seen what play's like, you know? And so you really want to see like all of these different things. Is there a myriad of the things that I just spoke to that maybe you can check off and go, Is it lasting longer than maybe what you think a phase would be? Or maybe you've looked into what are, you know, some milestones, and you realize, oh, maybe they're not reaching those, right? So some milestones really are like, should they be doing this by a certain age or what have you? And like, oh, we're like 2 years past this, or my child never crawled, or, you know, things like that. Then most definitely, that's when you should go ahead and throw the taboo out of it, right? Like, if your child had a broken leg, you would go see a doctor. You would go see their pediatrician. But because this is an unseen disorder, it's a little bit harder for people to identify. I should go get this checked out. So I highly recommend at that point to maybe see your developmental pediatrician, or reach out to somebody else, you know, like Nikki or myself, to see if that's something that you should explore or investigate a little bit more. So.
Thank you, Amber, for all those wonderful tips and information. So yeah, I mean, we're doing this video with this topic because we just really want to motivate you guys. Typically it's mostly moms that watch and that really have that intuition about something's not quite right here. And like I said, I tell my clients all the time, listen to your gut. Be your child's best advocate. And if you're listening from California, we are so lucky to have the special needs, special education resources that we have in this state. You guys need to take advantage of it. And if that means, you know, you have that gut feeling, everybody's telling you no, they'll grow out of it, or it's just a boy and they develop slower, or any of those things, but
you're waiting for like the kindergarten teacher to say something. Maybe they don't know what the yellow signs are, or the warning signs, and so you can't leave it to somebody else, you know? Empower yourself as their parent to really figure this out and take the next steps.
Exactly. So that would be go to your pediatrician. That's usually the first step that you go to, and they have a little checkbox of symptoms and stuff that they'll have you fill out. And if they're saying, you know, even if they're saying no, like they're fine, but you still have that gut feeling, get in there and really, you know, advocate for your child. Get a second opinion, a third opinion if you need to. And in California, we have something that's called the Regional Center, and that is where they really help out with these special needs situations. and they're a great resource, so you can look up your local regional center. And that the most resources and funding, and so it's low cost to you, is if it is caught before the age of 3. Right. So autism cannot be diagnosed technically until after the age of 3, which leaves it kind of tricky, but they can definitely have a prognosis. Right. And so it's a matter of getting in there, getting the information, and getting in contact with the regional center, getting the services, whether it's a speech pathologist, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, whatever it is that they deem that your child needs, take advantage of it, because guess what? Worst case scenario is that you caught it ahead of time and you really took the action that needed to be done for your child. Best case scenario is that you got all these services for free and your child never like really needed them, and now they're above and beyond advanced because of all these specialists that came in to help. And that is the best way to do it. So, you know, hopefully we can do another like dialogue here of how to maybe handle conversations or open conversations about autism, or your concerns as a parent or as a mom with your spouse, or if you have a niece or nephew or a family member or a friend, how to kind of talk about those things. If you guys are interested in that video and Amber and I getting back together to talk about this, please leave us a comment below. If you found this helpful, please let us know, because otherwise we're just talking to a phone and it's very awkward. So I hope you found this interesting. I'm really looking forward to bringing in some more wonderful specialists like Amber. She is a member of my Facebook group. I have a private Facebook group called Parent Coaching to the Moon and Back on Facebook. So I have numerous people that I only trust, specialists that are in there, along with you parents that want to be part of a support group in a community where we have, we discuss mostly like behavioral challenges, and it's there to vent in a safe place also, but also get tips from professionals like Amber.
Absolutely.
So hi, I'm like at an angle. So hi to you guys that joined. Thank you so much for watching, and I think you might have missed it, so check back in and watch the video, because it's definitely worth learning. Amber brought so much really valuable information, and I love her so much. And yeah, I've learned so much from this woman. So I hope you guys can, you know, check in with her. If you want to get in contact with Amber, again, it's Amber Bravo. Go ahead and DM me and I can put you guys in contact. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. Again, Nikki Morrow to the Moon and Back Behavioral Consulting, and I am a parent coach. And I am just here to help you guys in your day-to-day to make your life easier, because I know parenting is so hard. All right, take care and have a wonderful day, you guys.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.